ਆਪਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਯੂਨੀਫਰ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਸਮੇਤ ਕਈ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਚਰਚਾ। ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਅਨੀਤਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬੀਤੇ ਦਿਨ ਯੂਕਰੇਨ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਕੀਵ ਦਾ ਦੌਰਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਯੂਕਰੇਨ ਦੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। ਇਸ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਨੀਤਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਨੇ ਪੱਤਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਯੂਨੀਫਰ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਆ ਸਮੇਤ ਕਈ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਚਰਚਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਇਸ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਯੂਕਰੇਨ ਦਾ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦੁਹਰਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ।
With Minister Reznikov this morning, we discussed Operation Unifier. We discussed the important aid that Canada has put on the table and the willingness of our country to continue to work with Ukraine, with our allies and partners across the NATO alliance to support the stability and security of Ukraine. The safety and security of the armed forces is my top priority at all times. And out of an abundance of caution, we are repositioning some of our troops. We are continually monitoring the evolving and concerning situation and made a decision to move troops in that regard. The meeting this morning was primarily about the aid that Canada put on the table last Wednesday and that we will continue to execute on. For example, I discussed the arrival of the aid, I discussed the expansion of Unifier, we discussed how important Unifier has been on the ground to the training of Ukrainian troops, including the National Guard. The tenor of the conversation was very amicable and resolved to continue the working relationship going forward. Issues that we discussed were broad-ranging, and I in particular asked for their assessment of the various types of aid that would be useful across the board. We discussed cybersecurity in particular and how important it is to make sure that cyber networks are secure. We discussed a range of aid across the board, and I committed to bring the information that was shared with me by Minister Reznikov and his team back to the Canadian government so that we can continue to ensure that we are full-fledged in our support for Ukraine. We discussed a number of forms of aid, and it would be prudent in light of the very intense and sensitive security situation at the current time for me to discuss that first with my counterparts in Cabinet and with the Prime Minister prior to making formal decisions or announcements about what was discussed.